Welcome to Informed Sources on News Channel 3, where we talk about the week's big stories with local voices. I'm your host, Greg Hurst. Thanks for joining us. In a moment, I'll introduce our panel, but first, here are tonight's hot topics. A new report says crime in Memphis is actually down so far this year. That's despite some high-profile crimes, including the shootout that killed 2 people, including a Memphis police officer. We will take a look at what's working and what isn't in the fight against crime in our city and the county. We'll also discuss the issue of school safety. Just this week, a fight was caught on camera between a teacher and a student at a Memphis high school. We'll talk about the video along with what the Memphis Shelby County School District is doing to deal with all kinds of safety issues. And Shelby County Clerk Wanda Halbert's office could soon be put on a corrective action plan if some county commissioners have their way. But the plan is not without some controversy. We'll explain all of that. But before we begin tonight's discussion, let's introduce our panel. I'm joined by 2 Shelby County Commissioners, Chairwoman Miska Clay Gibbs from District 11 and David Bradford from District 2. Good to see you both.
Hey, Greg.
I know you both have a full plate, so we appreciate you being here helping guide us through some of these issues that are going on in the county.
Certainly.
All right, looking forward to it. Let's begin tonight with some new information on crime in Memphis. As part of Mayor Paul Young's review of his first 100 days in office, he said violent crime and property crime is down during the first quarter, but he acknowledges by not nearly enough.
But as we clap to that, I want to be clear that if our residents, our business owners and visitors don't feel safe, the numbers don't matter. So we're not resting on our laurels. We know that we have more to do.
Major crime is down 10%, property crime down 22% compared to the same time last year. Chairwoman, you know, Memphis is the biggest part of Shelby County. Is that reason for optimism?
I am optimistic, but I also understand that we have got to do better. As a county commissioner that represents the city, I hear the complaints every day. I am an activist and an advocate for my community. 10% is just not enough. We have some more work to do. But I'm excited to be able to work in partnership with our new city leadership in order to get that done. The numbers didn't increase overnight, so we have to really make sure we have some concentrated effort to change those numbers.
You know, the mayor has suggested that more work needs to be done. I'm sure many residents and you would agree. What's it going to take before residents will actually see this ship turning around, do you think, Commissioner?
Well, I mean, I had a coworker this week that just had a laptop stolen out of her car, so she certainly doesn't feel like crime is going down.
Yeah.
Similarly, I'm sure Officer McKinney's family doesn't feel like crime is going down. So until some of these items stop showing up in the media and stop affecting our citizens so much, I think that will be the point when we really feel like we're moving in the right direction.
If it is moving down, what is working and what else needs to be done?
I'll be honest and say I can't tell you what's working and what's not, because 10% and 22% is not huge numbers. I do agree that once we start seeing less of crime on the news every day, then we can really have some real conversations about what's working. I do know that there is a concentrated effort around more police officers in community in different ways, and also probably more traffic stops and all of those things, but I can't say what the magic thing is yet.
You know, of course, there are still horrific crimes that are happening. You even mentioned the shooting death of a Memphis police officer. We know a 17-year-old has been implicated in that crime, and now the district attorney has said he's going to be charging that 17-year-old as an adult. Is that the right call, do you think?
I think so, because I feel like we're seeing more and more violent crimes by younger and younger citizens, and so I think until they really start facing the more adult penalties, will help curb some of that activity.
All right, and his alleged 18-year-old accomplice, who had been in jail on serious charges, was released on his own recognizance, and then just a few days later dies in that shootout with Memphis police. Days before the Memphis police officer was killed, Jalen Lobley went before Judicial Commissioner Chris Ingram on auto theft and gun possession charges. Ingram released the teen without bail on a promise that Lobley would follow a curfew and then come back to court. Judge Bill Anderson, who supervised all the judicial commissioners, says Ingram did follow the law.
All that's sitting in front of the commissioner is that he admitted to stealing the cars. Well, okay, maybe he did, but maybe he didn't.
Judge Anderson also says the district attorney's office could have pushed stronger for a higher bond at each phase of Lobley's court hearings. There's certainly a lot of meat on that bone, but first of all, do you agree with the decision to release a young man who has a violent past on his own recognizance?
Honestly, I think we need to spend a little bit more time when you have repeat offenders. I think that's where we're seeing a lot of the violent crimes and some of the horrific crimes happening from people who are repeat offenders. We have to look at that differently.
You know, one of the things that the judge says, which is part of what you're saying as well, is that the judges don't have all of the information, especially when it involves a juvenile. They don't have any access to the juvenile's jacket, what he's done in the past. He could be a violent offender from the past, but they can't look at that because he was a juvenile. Do judges need more leeway, perhaps by the law, to take care of something like that?
I think so. I think being able to look further into their past to know what they've been into or what has happened previously on the record would certainly help judges set the bail appropriately.
I know the judge also had complained that, you know, the bail system is really not the problem. He says what is the real problem is that teenagers have too much access to weapons. Is that something that the county can do as far as lobbying the state legislature to perhaps get some help in that direction?
We've been lobbying. Even before I joined the county commission as a school board member, I lobbied around just the ease of access to guns. I think we've been crying out. We need for other people across the state of Tennessee to hear West Tennessee in Shelby County.
Commissioner?
I don't 100% agree with the judge. I think there is some bail reform that's needed. I do know Senator Taylor has brought forward a couple of bills that I think will help in some of that bail, setting some minimum rates and that type of stuff. So I think that is certainly part of it. I wouldn't argue, though, that I think guns are highly accessible, and we need to also look at that as well.
Anything the county commission itself can do to perhaps help in this fight against crime?
I think we've been doing it. We've been having real conversations. We have our own Public Safety Ad Hoc Commission that has been doing a lot of work through that committee, but more importantly, we've been showing up at the state level when it's time to lobby, and we've been a real good partner in the work with the city. Definitely more to do, but we've been showing up.
Certainly a complicated issue. When we come back, from crime in Memphis to crime on campus, we'll talk about the issue of school safety coming up next on Informed Sources.